Have you ever wondered why the world rarely speaks about Africa's mighty past? Why are the stories of kings, queens, and empires buried under the sands of time? The truth is shocking. Africa was not a land of darkness waiting to be discovered. It was a land of power, knowledge, and wealth. Tonight we uncover the great African empires that shaped the world. Long before Europe built its castles, and long before America rose as a nation, Africa was already a cradle of civilization. Its people built cities, created laws, traded gold, and developed advanced systems of government. Empires rose and fell, leaving behind legends of glory and wisdom. This is the story you were never told. Let us begin with ancient Egypt, the empire of the Nile. Imagine colossal pyramids rising from the desert sands. Imagine temples that aligned with the stars. Egypt was not just a kingdom. It was a civilization that gave the world writing, mathematics, medicine, and architecture. Pharaohs ruled with divine power, and their legacies still stand tall thousands of years later. But Egypt was only the beginning. To the south, along the Nile, rose the kingdom of Kush. This was a land of black pharaohs, mighty warriors, and iron smelters. The Kushites conquered Egypt itself and ruled it as the 25th dynasty. They proved that power in Africa was not limited to one land, but spread far and wide. Moving west, we arrive at the Empire of Ghana. Not the modern country, but the ancient kingdom that flourished 1,000 years ago. Ghana controlled the trade of gold and salt across the Sahara. Caravans of camels carried wealth through endless deserts. The kings of Ghana sat on golden thrones, their courts filled with riches. They were so powerful that Arab writers called them Lords of Gold. From Ghana rose the mighty Mali Empire. Here, one name shines above all others: Mansa Musa. He was the richest man who ever lived. His wealth was beyond imagination, and his pilgrimage to Mecca shook the world. Gold flowed so freely from his hands that it changed the economy of entire regions. Under Mali, the city of Timbuktu became a center of learning, with libraries and universities that rivaled any in the world. But Mali did not stand alone. After it came the Songhai Empire, one of the largest empires in African history. With armies led by generals and cavalry, Songhai stretched across West Africa, controlling trade, culture, and law. Cities like Gao and Timbuktu thrived with scholars, merchants, and artists. Songhai proved that African empires were not small tribes. They were vast nations. While West Africa glowed with gold, the East was home to another jewel, the Kingdom of Axum. Located in today's Ethiopia, Axum was a powerful trading empire. It connected Africa to the Middle East and India. Axum minted its own coins, built towering obelisks, and adopted Christianity long before Europe fully embraced it. It was a bridge between Africa and the wider world. Nearby stood the Kingdom of Ethiopia, a land of emperors claiming descent from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Ethiopia built rock-hewn churches that still inspire awe today. For centuries, it remained independent, resisting invasions and preserving its culture. Ethiopia became a symbol of African strength, a nation that could never be broken. Let us travel further south, where the Great Zimbabwe rises from the hills. Massive stone walls and towers still stand without mortar, a mystery of engineering. This kingdom controlled gold mines and traded with Arabs, Persians, and Chinese. Its capital was a fortress of stone, showing the world that Africa could build wonders equal to any ancient civilization. In Central Africa, the Kingdom of Congo ruled with authority. Its people built a complex society, with laws, trade systems, and kings who held vast power. When Europeans first arrived, they found an organized empire, not a wilderness. The Congo kings even wrote letters to European monarchs, proving their literacy and diplomacy. Further west along the coast, the Benin kingdom rose in glory. The Benin people created bronze plaques and sculptures of stunning beauty, artworks that are now displayed in world museums. Their city was surrounded by massive earthworks and walls, said to be greater in length than the Great Wall of China. Benin was a city of art, trade, and power. We cannot forget the Zulu kingdom of southern Africa. Under the leadership of Shaka Zulu, warriors were trained with discipline and innovation. Shaka transformed the Zulu into a fearsome military power, expanding their land and striking fear into enemies. His strategies changed the way wars were fought in Africa. Each of these empires left behind legacies that touched the world. They traded gold, salt, ivory, spices, and knowledge. They connected Africa to Asia, Europe, and beyond. They gave the world mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and art. Yet their stories are often silenced or hidden. Why are these histories ignored? Why are school books filled with tales of Rome, Greece, and Europe, while Africa's empires are dismissed as footnotes? The answer is painful. Colonization rewrote history. Empires were erased to make Africa seem weak, so foreign powers could claim superiority. But history cannot be erased forever. The ruins still stand. The manuscripts of Timbuktu still hold wisdom. The pyramids of Egypt still rise against the sky. The bronzes of Benin still shine with beauty. The stone walls of Great Zimbabwe still tell a story of strength. Africa's voice still speaks through the dust of time. Let us pause and imagine. Imagine sitting in Timbuktu's libraries as scholars debate the stars. Imagine hearing the drums of Benin as bronze casters pour molten fire into art. Imagine riding with Shaka's warriors as they charge across the fields. Imagine watching Mansa Musa scatter gold into the streets. This was Africa, the heartbeat of human civilization. Even today, these legacies continue. African traditions, music, and wisdom spread across the world through culture and memory. The African diaspora carries with it echoes of kingdoms long gone. The world is more African than it dares to admit. Think about this. Without Africa, there would be no humanity. The first humans walked out of Africa. The first civilizations rose here. The first trade routes connected through African lands. To deny Africa's greatness is to deny the story of the human race itself. When we speak of Africa's empires, we speak of vision, courage, and power. These were not kingdoms in the shadows. They were forces that shaped the world. They built, they ruled, they taught, and they inspired. And their legacy still calls us to remember who we are. Egypt gave us the pyramids. Kush gave us the black pharaohs. Ghana gave us golden thrones. Mali gave us Mansa Musa. Songhai gave us powerful generals. Axum gave us trade. Ethiopia gave us faith. Great Zimbabwe gave us stone cities. Benin gave us bronze art. Congo gave us diplomacy. Zulu gave us warriors. Each empire added to humanity's treasure. But these were not just stories of kings. They were stories of people. Farmers, merchants, builders, artists, soldiers, priests, and mothers. Millions of lives shaping a continent. Their voices echo in the ruins, waiting for us to listen. The world owes Africa more than it admits. From gold that fueled economies, to ideas that built civilizations, to culture that still beats in our music and art, Africa has always been a giver. The great empires remind us of this truth. Ask yourself this: why are we taught to see Africa as poor, when it was once the wealthiest place on earth? Why are we shown its struggles, but not its triumphs? Why are we told it needs saving, when it once saved the world with knowledge and resources? The answer lies in power. Whoever controls history controls the future. To silence Africa's empires was to silence its people. But silence does not last forever. The stories are rising again, stronger than before. Look at Egypt's hieroglyphs. Look at Ethiopia's churches. Look at Mali's manuscripts. Look at Zimbabwe's stone walls. Look at Benin's bronzes. Each is a voice whispering, "We were here. We mattered. We shaped the world." And what about today? The memory of these empires inspires new generations. African youth are reclaiming their heritage, scholars are rewriting history, and creators are telling stories once forgotten. The pride of Africa is returning. It is time to remember that Africa is not just a continent of struggle. It is the mother of civilization, the birthplace of humanity, the home of empires that taught the world how to build, how to trade, how to fight, how to dream. The pyramids were not built in silence. They were built with vision. The gold of Mali was not mined in darkness. It was mined in prosperity. The art of Benin was not cast in shadows. It was cast in brilliance. The walls of Zimbabwe were not raised in weakness. They were raised in strength. Do you feel it? The heartbeat of Africa still echoes in the world. Every drum, every song, every story carries the rhythm of empires long gone but never forgotten. This is not just history. It is identity. It is truth. It is a reminder that Africa's story is not one of poverty, but of power. Not of weakness, but of wonder. Not of silence, but of songs. Africa gave the world humanity. Africa gave the world civilization. Africa gave the world riches. Africa gave the world art. Africa gave the world strength. To forget Africa is to forget ourselves. So the next time someone tells you Africa has no history, ask them, have you heard of Mansa Musa? Have you seen the walls of Great Zimbabwe? Have you studied the manuscripts of Timbuktu? Have you looked upon the bronzes of Benin? If not, then you do not know the truth. History is not just about remembering the past, it is about shaping the future. If Africa's empires are forgotten, then so is the hope they carry. But if we remember, we give new strength to generations yet unborn. Children in Africa and beyond deserve to know their heritage. They deserve to grow up knowing their ancestors were kings, queens, scholars, and builders. They deserve to stand tall, proud of their history. This is why we tell these stories. The world may try to erase Africa, but Africa cannot be erased. Its empires still live in stone, in books, in art, and in memory. They live in the hearts of those who dare to remember. The great African empires were not just part of history, they shaped history itself. Without them, the story of humanity is incomplete. They are the missing pages, the hidden chapters, the untold truth. Now you know. You have heard the stories of greatness. You have seen the power of forgotten kingdoms. You have walked through the ruins and touched the legacy. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep silent, as history books have done? Or will you speak, share, and remind the world that Africa was never a land of shadows, but a land of light? The choice is yours. History waits for those who dare to tell it. The story of Africa does not end here. It lives in you. Share it, teach it, pass it on. Let the world know that Africa's greatness cannot be buried. These were the great empires that shaped the world, and their spirit lives forever.